Hello and welcome back to the Brandon Can Win channel, and last night they dropped the trailer for Joker 2, Folie. I believe that's what it's called, Folie, right? I don't speak French. They showed us the first teaser trailer for Joker 2, and I think it's definitely an interesting direction that they're going in. Yes, before getting to that, I gotta give you guys my thoughts on Joker 1, the first one. That came out back in 2019, I think. I really liked it because it was definitely different. It was a different take on super villain character, you know? And like, especially like the Joker, he's never had like an identity, but they've given him one. And you know, you see this, he's just some dude who worked as a clown, you know? And then he just went through this mental health downward spiral throughout like the movie. You just see him turn into the Joker. It's a real good look at how like society and stuff can really take a mental toll on someone. It was a very fascinating movie, and yeah, it f***ed some people up. I think it's because even though it's a comic book character, it's kind of real. I don't know how to explain it really. I would say it's more grounded to reality than any comic book movie I have probably ever seen. And for people, that's scary, and especially some of the stuff that the Joker does do in that movie. It is scary. It's some scary shit. But like, humanizing a character like the Joker is just a really unnerving thing. So the fact that they made a movie based solely on that, it was creepy. But I loved it. So with the announcement of Joker 2, a lot of people were like, why? It doesn't need a sequel. It was perfect. It's like, to some people it was either the perfect movie or the most horrifying movie they've ever seen. Then they heard Lady Gaga is Harley Quinn? And then they heard, it's a musical? I never had an issue with it being a musical, honestly, because, especially when I heard Lady Gaga was a part of it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, kind of, a little bit. Because I've only seen her in, like, A Star Is Born. I heard she was really good in House of Gucci, but I don't think that's a musical, really. It's not a musical, is it? I don't think it is. Well, no, it would just make sense for her, if she was Harley Quinn, that it would be a musical. I did find it hard to figure out, like, her as Harley Quinn. Like, I could see her as Harleen Quinzel, Dr. Harleen Quinzel, pretty easily. But Harley Quinn, like, what she becomes, it's kind of harder to see. But from what I saw from the trailer, this version of Harley Quinn, yeah, she kills it. It looks like she's gonna be killing some people, probably. But no, it's very interesting the take they decided to do with Harley Quinn in this one, where she's already a patient in Arkham Asylum instead of being... Because if you don't know, like, Harley Quinn's backstory, she was Joker's psychiatrist or therapist, and she fell in love with the Joker, and then the Joker kind of turned her crazy, and now she's a psycho too. Some would argue even more of a psycho, but I don't know. But yeah, there's some scenes that I really liked that really pointed out that, hey, like, I'm glad it's not hiding the fact that it's potentially a musical. It is a musical, let's be real. Or at least has musical elements in it, like the fact there's the one shot early on, he's walking down this corridor with like a bunch of like security guards around him, and they have black umbrellas, but then like it does a top-down view, and then they're like multicolored, and then like there's a scene where him and Harley are dancing, and then it switches, and instead of them being like all dressed up, it's just like in a flaming hellscape kind of deal, which gives you the premise is like, oh, most of this is all in the head stuff, as Pyrocynical would say. All the musical moments and all these moments we see of them living out like fantasy dates and dances and songs and stuff like that is just coming from the perspective of Joker and Harley Quinn. Which is interesting, because even though this is Joker, we're looking at two people now we're focusing on two people now instead of just the Joker. Like, yes, Joker is the main like person in this. Arthur is, yes. But we're also kind of getting the sense of what it's like when someone like Arthur and Harley Quinn meet and become a thing, and how they bounce off each other, both the negatives and the positives. It's going to be a really interesting thing to watch play out on the screen. And I think adding the musical thing to it is actually a pretty creative idea. Like, on paper it sounds dumb, but in execution it looks like it's going to be good. I do think there was one thing that made me like raise an eyebrow, and that was the scene that we see in the trailer where she's like doing the finger guns to her head and then does that, and she's like just alone in the room and he's just looking in the room. That made me think, is she even real? Is she real? Is he just seeing her too? But then there are some scenes where she's like alone and it's like, oh wait, maybe she is. And I think, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I saw Joker. I think he had like a love interest in the first movie that turned out not to be a love interest or something like that. I don't really remember. I think there are some parts of that movie I actually blocked out because of how intense it was. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this because it's just been on my mind all day since I saw the trailer for it. Because it came out last night, but I was streaming, so I didn't see it until this morning. So yeah, figured I'd talk about it, give you guys my thoughts, since I've been talking a lot about DC recently, especially Suicide Squad. By the way, can we get some outfits from this movie in Suicide Squad? Thank you. But yeah, I want to know in the comments down below, 1, did you like the first Joker movie? Or were you afraid of it? Or, like, what are your thoughts on the first Joker movie? And 2, what do you think about this one based on the trailer that dropped? Let me know in the comments down below. I love to know your thoughts. And, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell when you do. And, yeah, so long and good night.